In the last 24 hours, Russia has been shaken by a wave of chilling reports that many are describing as the first real outbreak of zombie activity. Citizens across several towns have begun reporting encounters with individuals in what they call a zombie-like state, exhibiting behaviors that defy ordinary human explanation. The accounts speak of people running headfirst into trucks, biting at metal, and in some cases, even lunging toward bystanders with an unnatural frenzy. One viral video, which has rapidly gained international attention, shows a man crashing into a moving truck with no hesitation, his body absorbing the impact as if pain or fear no longer held any meaning for him. The footage is raw and unfiltered, and to those who have seen it, there is little doubt that something strange has been unleashed in the region. This is not an isolated event. Multiple witnesses have stepped forward, telling of encounters with men and women acting as though possessed by an uncontrollable force. Their movements are erratic, their strength appears unnatural, and their disregard for their own safety is something that unnerves even the most skeptical observer. Reports from drivers speak of these zombie-like individuals throwing themselves at vehicles, leaving dents and scratches, their faces twisted with grim determination. Others describe these people attempting to bite car doors, banging on windows, and even trying to gnaw at exposed parts of trucks and cars. The sheer strangeness of these encounters has left many terrified that something is spreading through the population, something that strips away rational thought and replaces it with raw, predatory instinct. The viral video of the man colliding headlong with a truck is the centerpiece of this unfolding mystery. In the grainy recording, the figure can be seen staggering, then suddenly breaking into a sprint before launching himself full force into the side of a vehicle. Witnesses insist that this was not the behavior of an intoxicated person or someone in distress. Instead, they emphasize the robotic, unnatural way the man moved, almost as if driven by a force outside of his own will. The impact should have left him incapacitated, yet those who were there claim he got up, continued staggering forward, and attempted to bite at the truck's metal frame. That kind of resilience defies common explanation and has become one of the most terrifying aspects of the reports. As news spread, Russian citizens began flooding online platforms with their fears. Many are demanding answers from authorities, pleading for transparency about what is happening in their communities. Theories abound. Some claim that a chemical release could be responsible, others whisper of military experiments gone wrong, and a growing number believe that this is something extraterrestrial. What unites them all is the shared belief that ordinary explanations no longer suffice. Too many witnesses have seen too much for this to be dismissed as rumor. The videos themselves, shaky but clear in their depiction of bizarre and violent behavior, serve as undeniable proof that something deeply unusual is taking place. The panic is not confined to Russia alone. Around the world, viewers of the footage are debating what the emergence of these zombie-like figures could mean. Commentators point out that history is full of unexplained outbreaks, strange epidemics, and tales of people losing their humanity in sudden, frightening ways. Yet never before has there been video evidence so stark, so convincing, that it leaves little room for doubt. These figures are not acting like ordinary people. They are running headfirst into heavy machinery, attacking vehicles, and attempting to bite through steel. Their behavior cannot be rationalized by conventional science, and this leaves only darker, more mysterious possibilities. Local residents claim to have seen groups of these individuals roaming together, sometimes at night, sometimes in broad daylight. Families are locking their doors, refusing to leave their homes, and warning their children not to wander outside. Truck drivers traveling through the region have begun sharing their own stories of being ambushed by people in these strange states, slamming themselves against trucks with a fury that is both terrifying and inexplicable. The fear is palpable, and trust in the authorities to protect the public is quickly eroding. Theories about the origin of these zombie-like behaviors continue to swirl. Some believe that a viral infection may be responsible, a previously undiscovered pathogen that alters the brain and strips away normal human behavior. Others suggest the influence of radiation or exposure to experimental substances. For those living in the affected areas, life has become a waking nightmare. The sense of dread is heightened by the lack of any official updates. Citizens are left to speculate, relying on viral videos and whispered stories rather than clear statements from those in power. The absence of information has created a vacuum filled by fear, suspicion, and the kind of speculation that only fuels the mystery further. International observers are beginning to take notice as well. Security experts warn that if this phenomenon spreads, it could destabilize entire regions. The resilience and aggression shown in the footage suggest that traditional methods of containment may not be effective. Ordinary people are not equipped to deal with attackers who feel no pain, fear, no consequences, and seem bent only on destruction. The fact that the viral video shows one man surviving an impact with a truck, then continuing his bizarre actions, raises questions about how far this could go if more such individuals appear. For now, the black cloud of uncertainty hangs heavily over Russia. Videos of alleged zombies biting trucks, attacking cars, and running headfirst into heavy vehicles continue to spread online. Each clip adds fuel to the fire, reinforcing the sense that something extraordinary and deeply frightening is happening. Citizens are demanding answers, begging for clarity, and preparing themselves for the possibility that this is only the beginning. In the end, what makes this story so haunting is not just the footage itself, but the silence that surrounds it. The viral video is undeniable, the witness reports are consistent, and yet those in power remain quiet. The people of Russia are left to face the possibility that a force beyond their understanding has been unleashed in their homeland, and that the world may soon need to reckon with the first true outbreak of zombie-like behavior ever recorded.
The US Department of Defense released a strategy to combat a potential zombie apocalypse. When you think about the possibility of a zombie apocalypse, what comes to mind? For most people, thoughts of Hollywood movies is what they think of. These movies have given rise to a fear of zombies in popular culture. Zombies are depicted as relentless monsters that crave human flesh, and some even believe that a real-life zombie apocalypse could happen. As it turns out, it's not just zombie movie-obsessed people who have plans set in place for a zombie apocalypse. Shockingly, so does the US Department of Defense. In 2011, the Department of Defense actually released a strategy to combat this potential apocalypse. The Counter-Zombie Dominance Plan, also known as CONPLAN 888811, stated in its first line, this plan was not actually designed as a joke. The history of the US Department of Defense, also the largest government agency in America, goes back to the American Revolutionary conflict, and according to the official agency website, its mission is to provide the military forces needed to deter conflict and ensure our nation's security. Apparently, this agency, with a national defense budget of $752.9 billion and 4,800 sites in over 160 countries, saw it necessary to create a plan in case of a zombie apocalypse. The CONOP 8888 files. The origins of the CONOP or CONPLAN 8888 files may have started around 2010, when officers in the Joint Operational Planning and Execution System realized the benefit of creating a plan for a zombie apocalypse. Making these plans helped these young new officers use their critical thinking skills to develop creative strategies to fight the potential threat. According to the Pentagon, our intent was to place this tool into the wild so that others who are interested in finding new and innovative ways to train planners could have an alternative and admittedly unconventional tool at their disposal that could be modified and updated over time. A spokeswoman for Strategic Command, Captain Pamela Kunz, even added, "This document is not a US Strategic Command plan." So, what is in these mysterious files? There are 3 parts to the strategy. The first step that the team laid out is to create a plan to protect humanity from the zombies. This would include monitoring areas with a high level of infection and consider where the most significant threats are. The second step is to create procedures to eliminate the zombie threat. This would include creating a vaccine and distributing it to the people. Finally, as the third step, the plan is to restore order to a conflict-torn economy. In the case of a zombie apocalypse, the government does not expect law and order to remain for long. However, when the zombie threat is eradicated, the government has a plan to bring back social stability. The plan even laid out 8 classifications for the zombies. These included zombies created by pathogens in the air, evil magic zombies, zombies created by an unknown source, zombies who only ate grains, and chicken zombies. There is actually some evidence for the existence of chicken zombies, as in 2006, there was an incident in California where chickens who were put down by carbon monoxide began walking around until their bodies succumbed to organ failure. On top of laying out the classifications of different possible zombie types, the files also laid out a plan to handle the legal ramifications that could possibly come about from attacking zombies. The plan showed that military laws prohibiting violence only apply to living humans and animals. Therefore, they would not have rights if the threat were genuinely the undead. While this plan might seem fantastical, the Department of Defense is not the only government agency that has used the popularity of zombies as a learning opportunity. In fact, the Center of Disease Control also released a zombie preparedness plan to prepare the public for what to do if an actual zombie conflict broke out. As it turns out, there is a fine line between fact and fiction, and at times they work together hand in hand for the benefit of all. These zombie files stated, because the plan was so ridiculous, our students not only enjoyed the lessons, they were able to explore the basic concepts of plan and order development, fact, assumptions, specified and implied tasks, references, very effectively. Perhaps the greatest mystery of the plan is why more agencies are not creating zombie contingency plans. The world is a strange place. So are, at times, the people in it. New, shocking discoveries fuel passion and intrigue every day. We love learning about them, even if they make our stomachs churn or challenge what we think we know to be true. Government agencies creating plans for zombie apocalypses would seem like a plot in a science fiction movie, but alas, it's real life. A mysterious house turning out to be not so mysterious is also something truth seekers must deal with at times. One thing is for sure, there is never a dull moment in the hunt for answers to the world's most mysterious questions.
Scientists find zombie virus. In the year 2014, a group of scientists hailing from France made a remarkable discovery in the icy depths of the Siberian permafrost. What they unearthed was not just any ordinary organism, but an extraordinary entity, a giant zombie virus that had lain dormant for approximately 30,000 years. Giant viruses earned their name not due to their physical size, which remains relatively small, but because they are discernible through a standard microscope. However, Pythovirus sibericum in particular distinguishes itself in a unique manner. This DNA virus boasts an extraordinary abundance of genes, up to a remarkable count of 500. These genes encompass a vast genetic repertoire, contributing to the exceptional complexity and diversity exhibited by P. sibericum. Giant zombie viruses are characterized by their substantial physical dimensions and the abundance of DNA they possess, rendering them exceptionally hazardous, as outlined by the researchers who unveiled Pythovirus sibericum. The large size of these viruses, coupled with their extensive DNA content, contributes significantly to their potential threat, as they have the capability to endure for extended periods. The giant zombie virus, as described by two of its discoverers, is recognized for its exceptional resilience, being extremely challenging to penetrate and deactivate. The dormant perils, while currently under control, may re-emerge due to our changing world and human activities, potentially unleashing unforeseen health hazards upon humanity. The lurking dangers, contained within the Earth's depths, pose a latent risk that could be exacerbated by rising temperatures and human interventions. The rising temperatures in the Arctic are causing the thawing of the permafrost, which is a frozen soil layer located beneath the ground surface. This phenomenon has the potential to awaken ancient viruses that have been dormant for thousands of years, posing a significant threat to both animal and human health. The implications of this thawing permafrost go beyond just environmental changes. They have the potential to unleash long-buried pathogens that could have widespread consequences for ecosystems. In a scenario reminiscent of a science fiction narrative, the emergence of a virus raises concerns among scientists about its potential risks, which, albeit currently low, are not fully acknowledged. Moreover, the thawing of ice may expose chemical and radioactive remnants originating from the Cold War era, posing threats to wildlife and ecosystems by potentially causing disruptions. The interconnectedness of these events underscores the importance of understanding and addressing the long-lasting impacts of historical remnants on our environment, emphasizing the need for proactive measures to mitigate potential harm and safeguard ecological systems. Scientist Kimberly Miner from the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory at the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena emphasized the critical nature of preserving frozen permafrost due to the concerning developments associated with it. Miner highlighted the multifaceted issues that arise from the changing dynamics of the permafrost, underscoring the urgent need to maintain its frozen state. She pointed out the intricate challenges linked to the thawing permafrost, signaling the potential environmental ramifications that could unfold if substantial portions of the permafrost were to thaw. Permafrost, a permanent frozen layer of soil and rock, extends over a significant portion of the Earth's northern hemisphere, playing a crucial role in supporting the Arctic tundra and boreal forests of regions like Alaska, Canada, and Russia for thousands of years. Beyond its role in the environment, permafrost acts as a remarkable time capsule, preserving not only ancient viruses, but also the remarkably well-preserved remains of various extinct animals. Scientists have made fascinating discoveries within these icy tombs, unearthing and examining the mummified remains of species such as 2 cave lion cubs and a woolly rhino. Permafrost is considered an efficient storage medium, not solely due to its frigidity, but also because it provides an oxygen-free zone impervious to light penetration. However, contemporary Arctic temperatures are rising at a rate up to 4 times faster than the global average, leading to the deterioration of the upper stratum of permafrost in the region. This accelerated warming trend in the Arctic poses a significant threat to the stability and integrity of the permafrost layer, jeopardizing its capacity as a reliable storage medium. Jean-Michel Claverie, a distinguished professor specializing in medicine and genomics at the Aix-Marseille University School of Medicine in Marseille, France, embarked on a study to comprehensively examine the risks associated with frozen viruses. His research involved analyzing Earth samples extracted from the Siberian permafrost to determine the potential infectivity of viral particles residing within. His primary objective was to identify what he labels as zombie viruses. In his pursuit, he has successfully discovered certain viral entities that retain their infectious properties even after being frozen for an extended period. This meticulous investigation conducted by Claverie delves into the depths of the viral world preserved in the frozen landscapes, shedding light on the intriguing phenomenon of dormant viruses. Claverie is engrossed in investigating a distinct category of viruses that he initially unearthed in 2003. These viruses, recognized as giant viruses, exhibit a significantly larger size compared to conventional types and can be observed using a standard light microscope, as opposed to the more advanced electron microscope typically required. This unique characteristic positions them as a valuable model for conducting laboratory experiments in this field. In his pursuit of uncovering ancient viruses preserved in permafrost, he drew motivation from a group of Russian researchers who, back in 2012, managed to resurrect a wildflower from seed tissue dating back 30,000 years, originating from a squirrel's underground dwelling. Following this achievement, scientists have further triumphed in the resurrection of ancient microscopic organisms, showcasing the remarkable potential of scientific exploration in reanimating long-dormant life forms. In 2014, the researcher successfully revitalized a dormant virus that he and his team had extracted from the permafrost, rendering it viable for the first time in 30,000 years through the process of inserting it into cultured cells. As a precautionary measure, he opted to investigate a virus with the specific ability to infect only single-celled amoebas, ensuring that there was no risk of transmission to animals or humans. In 2015, he once again achieved a similar accomplishment by identifying a different strain of virus that specifically attacked amoebas. Recently, in a study published on February 18th in the scientific journal Viruses, Claverie and his research team successfully extracted numerous varieties of ancient viruses from various samples of permafrost collected from 7 distinct locations throughout Siberia. Their findings demonstrated the capability of each virus strain to infect amoeba cells that were being cultured in laboratory conditions. This latest research not only showcases his continuous success in isolating diverse virus types, but also underscores his team's profound exploration into the ancient viral strains preserved in Siberia. In a groundbreaking discovery, 7 distinct families of viruses have been identified, with 5 new families emerging in addition to the previously revived 2. Diving deep into the realm of ancient microbiology, these viruses span a wide chronological spectrum. The most ancient strain, dated back to nearly 48,000 years through meticulous radiocarbon dating of soil samples, originated from an underground lake located a significant 16 meters or 52 feet beneath the surface. On the other end of the temporal spectrum, the more recent findings, aged at 27,000 years, were unearthed from the preserved stomach contents and fur of a woolly mammoth. This comprehensive exploration sheds light on the intricate tapestry of ancient virology, showcasing the diverse origins and lifespans of these ancient viral entities. The fact that viruses capable of infecting amoebas remain infectious for extended periods indicates a potentially significant issue, according to Clavery. He expresses concern that his research is often viewed merely as a scientific oddity, with many failing to recognize the serious implications of ancient viruses potentially reactivating and posing a substantial public health risk. Recent discoveries have unearthed remnants of viruses and bacteria within the permafrost that possess the potential to cause harm to human health. During the summer months of July and August in 2016, Siberia experienced an anthrax outbreak that impacted both humans and over 2,000 reindeer. The underlying cause of this outbreak has been linked to the increasing thawing of the permafrost, a result of abnormally hot temperatures. This phenomenon has enabled dormant spores of Bacillus anthracis, the bacterium responsible for anthrax, to resurface from previously frozen burial sites or animal remains. Birgitta Evengard, a retired professor from the Department of Clinical Microbiology at Umeå University in Sweden, emphasized the crucial need for enhanced monitoring and assessment of the potential threats linked to emerging pathogens from thawing permafrost. Evengard underscored the importance of implementing sophisticated surveillance measures to mitigate the risks associated with these newly exposed pathogens. In the scenario where a virus lies dormant within the permafrost, untouched by human contact for millennia, there is a possibility that our immune system may not have the capacity to combat it effectively. They emphasized the importance of acknowledging and preparing for such a potentially novel threat rather than merely reacting to it. She suggested that being proactive and informed is key in facing uncertainties and fears. Gaining knowledge about the situation can serve as a powerful tool to alleviate anxiety and apprehension. This highlights the significance of maintaining a vigilant and well-informed approach to dealing with unforeseen challenges, especially those that arise from ancient sources like the permafrost. In the real world, scientists face uncertainties regarding the duration of infectivity of viruses under present-day conditions and the likelihood of these viruses encountering a suitable host. It is essential to note that not all viruses are harmful pathogens. Some can be benign or even advantageous to their hosts. Despite being inhabited by 3.6 million people, the Arctic remains a sparsely populated region, significantly reducing the probability of human exposure to ancient viruses. The mystery surrounding the persistence and transmissibility of these viruses underscores the complexity of virology research and the challenges in predicting potential risks. Moreover, the intricate interplay between viruses and their hosts suggests a nuanced perspective on the diversity of viral behavior and impact. Consequently, understanding the dynamics of viral evolution and transmission in remote environments like the Arctic requires a multifaceted approach that integrates scientific inquiry with environmental awareness and public health considerations.